Don't get used to me wearing this because it's actually meant for winter usage, and right now my head is on fire, but again, bad hair day. So I'm just gonna go with it for the next couple of videos because I am recording them in succession. So deal with it. Hello monsters, my name is Daidarius and welcome to Castlevania Season 4 review, because that's what it is. So Castlevania Season 4 is an interesting season. It pretty much picks up right after Season 3 ended. And in case you can't remember where Season 3 ended, Trevor and Cypher was in a bad place because of this whole mayor killing innocent children thing, and also, you know, some psychotic monks trying to bring Dracula back to life. So luckily in this season, well, some psychotic vampires are trying to bring Dracula back to life. Yeah. So we're doing this shit again. Well, again, it makes sense because he is the Lord of Vampires. So, what is this season about besides idiots again trying to bring Dracula back to life? Well, Alucard is trying to save some people in a nearby town from night creatures. And Trevor and Cypher is trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in this one town. Like the former season, but different this time. And then maybe all these storyline will intertwine and come together, maybe not. We'll see. But that is basically the gist of the season. It's just trying to build up to this Dracula thing. And also, in case you don't know, Season 4 is the final season of this series. They have, however, thought about or talked about doing other seasons or other series, spin-off series set in the same universe, because, you know, there is like a gazillion Castlevania games you can pick and choose from and tell those stories. So, sure, you might as well. But as far as Trevor and Cypher's storyline with Alucard goes, it is done. You can't do other stuff with Alucard. Again, he's a vampire, but otherwise, it is done. So, what did I like about this season? First of all, Belmont is my spirit animal. Just his outlook on life and how he reacts to everything. I just fucking love it. I love that man. And especially how he influenced Cypher by now, because they have been an item for quite a while, and his bad behaviors is starting to rub off on Cypher, so she starts to act more like Trevor. In fact, also Alucard is starting to act more like Trevor. It's beautiful. Secondly, I do appreciate how they take Alucard's character this season, because the former season he was fucking wasted. I mean, he did benefit character-wise for that storyline, but besides that, no, fucking wasted. Whereas here, he actually has something to do. He has something important to do. I like that. I also liked Hector's story in here. It had more meaning than the former one. Again, Season 3 was about Camilla and her 4 or 3 sisters trying to make him make night creatures to work for them. In here, he actually has something to do because they managed to do that last season. And also, again, the animation style, the animation here, it is rough. They are not always working on 2s, but maybe in 3 and 4s. So it is very janky, or maybe not janky, laggy in here. But that doesn't matter because the former season were that as well. However, the art style in here is fantastic. The sound design is fantastic. The usage of the R rating is magnificent. And also the way it depicts the Castlevania lore is fantastic as well. So I do like that. The pacing in here is for the most part good, but there is a lot of issues with this season. First of all, this is the final season. That's not an issue. That's fine. That's how it goes. But the story arcs that has been built up, especially from Season 2 through 3 and now 4, is wrapped up fucking quickly. So, for example, you remember Isaac's storyline from the former season, him coming to terms of what he wanted in life now that Dracula was dead, and him trying to go after Hector with a fucking vengeance. Fine. That made fine. The resolution for that, I think, was almost an episode. There was one episode where he's, getting ready to go down to business, and then next episode, he's doing his business, and that is basically it. Hector is set up quite well, but that is also wrapped up way too quickly. And then Trevor's and Cypher's storyline, it is interesting, but it goes on way too long. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I was getting so fucking angry at the, chief, the leader of the group in that city that they're in, because so much time is wasted with this psychotic person. And it just halts the story, and you can see that Trevor and Cypher are angry at the person, but they don't do anything to, better either the situation or the person or anything. They just accept it and be angry in silence, and it doesn't really drive the story forward. Alucard, on the other hand, was fine. I didn't mind his storyline. However, when you get to the final episode, it tries to wrap up too much in too little time. If you think back to season 2, the final episode has no battle in it. They have slain Dracula. It's all about the aftermath. Well, in here, they actually get ready to go up against the main baddie. They go up against the main baddie. They fight the main baddie. Defeat the main baddie. And then try to wrap up everything and the whole series in one quick session in one episode that is like 25 minutes long. That's too little time to wrap up and do that much. It doesn't really work. The final fight was fucking hell. It was actually quite bad. Now, and it kind of leads into another thing or another issue I have with this series. Or not series, season. That's the difference. This season. And that is the choreography and the depiction of action sequences in here. Now, often throughout the series, this show has shown that it is actually quite innovative in showing its action, in how the characters fight, and everything just usually works well. It's interesting, it's fun and awesome to look at, whereas in here there's not much invention or creativity when doing action sequences. For example, Cypher isn't that innovative with her magic abilities. Trevor isn't that innovative with his Morning Star, and so on and so forth. There's not much invasion. There's not much innovation going on in here. That mixed in with the fact of how the camera is used in here obscures the action so much that you can't really see what's going on, and therefore can't really enjoy of what the artist in here is trying to convey to you. That is irritating and frustrating, especially when it comes to the final fight, because it is built up as this epic grandeur boss battle, but it does nothing. It doesn't really show the awesome action that it wants to depict. It doesn't really let moments and impacts breathe and have an effect on you, and it just tries to get done with so quickly that when you're getting to points where you're supposed to feel something, being dread or hopelessness or triumph or whatever, you don't get the chance to do it because we need to move on. And it even makes the actors sounds like that they're not really caring about the acting in here, and that is an issue. And I know that the voice acting has not been the best, but at least they have been able to convey what their character was trying to feel at that time. But not in here. It doesn't really work. So you don't have the awesome action sequences anymore, which it sucks, because it's one of the things that are really praised about this show. The bad guy. I mean, they're trying to resurrect Dracula. Okay, fine. So everything is set up. They're ready to go, and this character needs to do this specific thing, and they're willing to do it. They are on board. And then this one character is showing and revealing their original intent, the original plan, and that makes this other character not wanting to do what they wanted to do before. So now, after revealing their intent, they have to threaten the character to continue their work, but if they just shut up, it would work fine. A lot of those weak storytelling is in here, unfortunately, and there is so much time wasted on unnecessary conversations in here. I mean, you spend a lot of... There's a scene that dragged on for fucking ever about two vampires talk to each other about how badass they really are, and it goes on and on and on. And I mean, a 20 seconds conversation between those two would have informed the audience about how they see themselves, but no, we need to take up way more screen time and focus on this conversation so you really understand how badass they see themselves. And again, it is time wasted that could have been spent other places that critically needed the attention to flesh out either characters or situations or fucking motivations, but no. I'm just kind of disappointed on this season because the former 3 was so great. I even saw the first 3 seasons before I saw this again, before I saw the 4th season, just to get the whole story in one continuous binge, basically. But it just highlighted how weak this season is, and considering this is the final season for these 3 characters together, well, it just feels unsatisfying. And again, I know what this show is capable of, but it wasn't utilized here. And the fight against Camilla and her sisters is also underwhelming considering what was led up to it, how it was built up. It is resolved too easily, too quickly, too boringly. There's a lot of interesting aspects regarding Camilla's plan that's brought up in the former season and also in this season, but it's dropped like fucking hot iron. So you kind of sitting there wonder, what was the point? And also that your time was, wasted, since that you spent so much time last season focusing on that plan, and then this is what it led to. Nothing. To sum up, again, you get the great characters. You get some great art direction or style for the most part. You get more Trevor Belmont, which is always a win in my book. You get some resolution for all the storylines in here, but the focus on meaningless conversations, the awful depictions of critical fight scenes, the hasteful way it tries to resolve plot lines, and just the final episode of how it tries to do too much too quickly dragged this season down a lot. But it still has some entertainment value in there, especially when Trevor and Sylvia is interacting and when Alucard is actually being funny. It happens, and when it does, you're actually kind of surprised of how funny he can be in this series. So I will say that Castlevania Season 4, you should catch it on a streaming service. My experience. It's just sad that it ends on this weaker note, because there's a lot of potential in here, but the focus should have been better in here. So that's just my take on it. But anywho, Castlevania Season 4, have you seen it? What do you think about it, and how do you think it ranks amongst the other 3 seasons of this show? And were you satisfied with the ending or not? Whatever you think, comment below me your thoughts. As always, until see you next video, remember to stay awesome. Bye! My head is on fire!